Hello class, here's a video answer key in augmenting the printed answer key. I'm going to try to be quick and to the point, try to emphasize methodology to help you understand and how to get the correct answers quickly and efficiently and give you study suggestions. Okay, so the first example, you have to identify the mode. You should use your ear along with theory. You listen to it, of course. Hopefully quickly, oops, sorry. Let's do that again. Hopefully you quickly will hear that this is, that in this example, D is Do, and then you'll know that you can figure out that the notes are Lydian. And then you harmonize with the tonic chords, 3 tonic chords, and then you do cadence chords. And make sure that you're careful about accidentals because there's no key signatures. So here's the answer to that one. Oops. Lydian mode, there's one solution. There's more than one right answer. Of course, you could have different cadence chords in different places. But what's definitely important to remember is that we don't use any diminished chords in modal music, and we have to be careful about the use of dominant 7th chords and make sure that they don't go down a 5th. So this is what it sounds like. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one, same process, listen to the mode, but this time you also are going to have to write one modal interchange chord. You can hear that that's the tonic, G, so you figure out the notes, you figure out that it's G Dorian. Go through the same process as before as the other example, but this time we need to think in Dorian, and then we have to come up with a modal interchange chord, and I suggest there's no getting around it. You just have to know your modes well and figure out a chord which will work with that existing melody. Practicing your modes every day, you can play them all on white notes, is a good idea. Sing and play all the chords in each mode and get more familiar with them, make yourself study sheets, etc. Okay, let's go to the next page now. Hybrids, make sure to analyze the tune first, then use your repertoire of hybrids that you've been studying to come up with the correct answers. Here's a couple of tips. There's only one Ionian hybrid, 5 major over 1, so anytime you use a major 7 chord, you could potentially use that chord, that hybrid rather. There's only one altered hybrid, flat 5 major over 1, so that makes your job easy there. There's a very versatile hybrid called flat 7 major over 1 that works in Aeolian, Dorian, and Mixo. So I used that on this chord, which is Aeolian. I used it here, which is Dorian, and I used it here, which is Mixo. This is Lydian flat 7. The Lydian, typical Lydian hybrid of 2 major would have worked, but I like to use on Lydian flat 7 augmented. This is a typo. It really should have been A major 7. If you saw that on the exam, you would be totally okay for you to change it to an A major 7 and write in relation to that. And then this is a great mixo chord where you can use flat 7 major 7. There's other options, of course. I'm just helping you zero in on some of the easiest ones to remember. So we go over to that example, and you can see I used flat 5 major over 1 there. I used flat 7 major over 1 for the Aeolian, flat 7 major over 1 for the Dorian, and flat 7 major over 1 for the mixed Lydian. I used flat 7 augmented for the Lydian flat 7, and I used 7 minor 7 for the Lydian chord, but I could have used flat 5 major over 1 or 2 major over 1. Sounds like this. Okay, the voicings got maybe a tiny bit low. Might have put them up a little bit. Okay, polychords. Polychords, you just got to remember that the lower structure is all chord tones, no tensions. The upper structure is at least one tension, no void notes. You can use your knowledge of hybrids to get polychords. For example, this is an altered chord. Of course, always analyze first. This is an altered chord. There's only one altered hybrid, flat 5 major over 1. Well, you can use that as a polychord too. There's other altered hybrid polychords, of course, but that's an easy one to remember if you know your hybrid version. That's a Lydian chord. Use a Lydian hybrid concept and just make it into a polychord. This is a Dorian chord. Use a Dorian hybrid, made it into a polychord. This can be changed to F7 instead of E sharp 7. And that is a sub 5 and Lydian flat 7, so use a Lydian flat 7 upper structure and make it into a polychord. And that's exactly what I did here. Flat 5 major over 1 for my altered. Lydian upper structure here, 7 minor 7 there. A flat 7 major over 1 concept for the Dorian. Flat 7 augmented for my Lydian flat 7 sound, and 2 major over 1 for my Lydian sound there. I used a different Lydian upper structure there. You're just using the same knowledge you use for hybrids, but you just have more choices with polychords. Careful about the voice leading, and then you'll be all set on that. It sounds like this. And again, the sounds matter. This might sound a little better with strings than this current sound, but that's the general idea. Okay, and last but not least, our song example. And there's no getting around it with the song. You have to listen to it, and you have to do two things. One is listen for any modulations and try to spot them by ear and make a note of them. And second, make sure that if you see any hybrids, you should convert them to the chord that they are substituting for. This example only uses the most common hybrids. It uses 5 major over 1, which of course is the most common hybrid substitute for a major 7 chord, and it uses a lot of those. And you can see immediately you should convert that and say, okay, that's really a D flat major 7 chord, flat 6 major 7 in the key of F. This is really a B flat major 7 chord, 4 major 7 in this key, and so on. The other most common hybrid, of course, is flat 7 over 1 or flat 7 major 7 over 1, and that gives us a very big sus sound. So this is really a substitute for a seventh chord with a sus4. And those are really the only two hybrids in the piece. So that, along with being able to spot the modulation by ear and confirming it with theory, because remember, modulations always need to be reinforced, you will have deduced that this is where the modulation happens. All right, let's have a listen to it as the analysis scrolls by. Yes, and I wanted to point out here at the end, of course, there is a series of 2/5s which turn out to be going in a motion that falls under the category of contiguous. Always upward motion, up in half steps, up in whole steps, up in minor thirds. Well, this of course goes up in minor thirds. Whenever possible with contiguous, if Roman numerals do apply, you can add them in as we did here. Okay, and you can refer to the printed version of the answer key too.